Good morning, guys. How are you? Sorry, just had to come up with a quick one here because it's on my mind. It's weighing kind of heavy. Okay, the whole idea of okay, we have Mrs. Doubtfire. Saw her post, and there was someone that just their whole life was in shambles. And Mrs. Doubtfire said, "Trust me, it'll get better," and it will. But I would also have to blame Mrs. Doubtfire for these beliefs. Okay. You see, when we mix and mash all these religious cockamamie bullshit beliefs together, everything has a reason, and there's a contract, there's duality, there's everything under the sun. But when someone is curled up in a ball in the fetal position, trust me, it'll get better. All the soul contract bullshit, you see, that's where the confusion came from. Do we have to hit rock bottom sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will guarantee you there is nothing more powerful than surrendering to God and crying out to God. There is nothing that brings you back quicker. There is nothing that is more powerful. You can talk about the soul contracts. I mean, let's talk about soul contracts for a second. How evil a soul contract is, okay? Many of you are around my age, and you can remember the old comic books or the old comics or cartoons, and it would have Satan having a contract, sign your soul over to me, blah, blah, blah. That stems back from roughly Plato, because everything with the Greeks was about the law, even though philosophy was different, but yet it had rules. Again, man, laws are man, laws are man. But there's some truth within that understanding of that contract to sign over to the devil. Okay, see, he is one of the rulers. He is the ruler here on earth, in a sense. Although it's God, it's up to us to come to God. But if we sign over with Satan or the devil, you're bound. You see, laws bind. One of the things I want to remind you about is the mishmash of the religions. Okay, if you believe in these quote soul contracts, okay, then all this is karma light. Okay, it's just a lighter form of karma. Okay, everything goes back basically to the Vedics, to the Vedic and Hindu religion. There's 300 million gods. There was a god of the good waves, a god of the bad waves, a god of the calm sea. There was, Mother Earth, but everyone forgets, even under the Gaia followers, that there's a Father Sky. They forget that. But you see how things are picked apart and put together into one little bag of wonderful, and yet it's toxic as hell. Toxic. When you all are worried about soulmates, soul contracts, all this bullshit, karma, all this bullshit, there isn't any of that with God, the Father, and Yeshua, the Holy Spirit. There's none of those things. None of those. Do you see the confusion? Do you see how your mind can be warped, twisted? I mean, just that person's post that Mrs. Doubtfire responded to, trust me, it will get better. Well, it's all the bullshit that screwed her up. That's why she's melting down. Is life hard? Absolutely. Absolutely. Life is hard. See, there's no contract that explains soul and faith. There's no contract. No matter how wrong things can be and things that you do, there's generally always redemption with the Lord. I can't say that with 100% accuracy, because when I think of some evil people, I think there's no redemption there. But if you're just the average person, like all of us, just living within this world, walking within, the earth here, there's always redemption. But you're not going to find redemption in karma. You're not going to find redemption in contracts. You're not going to find redemption in laws of beliefs. You're going to find redemption through God. Now, I'm not a Bible thumper by any means. And a lot of people want to have philosophical conversations. I get that. I'm all about having a conversation. And views. That's coffee talk to me. I enjoy that. But you see, why we are in such turmoil is this mishmash of the New Age and the spiritual community. The mishmash of, I like this part of their religion. I'm going to bring it into this part, and this part, and this part, and this part. Do you see how that works? Do you see how we get confused? I mean, let's just take the soul contract. Oh, you were contracted before you came here. Where does God have a contract? I'm just curious. When you're on earth here, there are commandments, but where is the contract? You see, I keep telling you, you can't mix and match these things. Oh, it's a contract. Oh, it's your soul. It's your soulmate. These are all based off of Vedic, Greek, even books. James Lovelock, the Gaia theory, even leans towards soul contracts, even though it actually is a scientific book. Roughly, it was a hypothesis, and it's becoming a theory that basically the earth is alive. I do agree with that, because it's God's hand. This is a heaven, whether we realize it or not. God created this. It's man that corrupts it. God created this, not so where we could screw up everything, not for where sin could just run abolish. This was a heaven, and man corrupted it. Keep intertwining the different religions. It's going to lead to and I do call it religion. These ridiculous things of soul contract, soulmate. It's a religion. Try not to swear. It's a religion. So when you realize that your God isn't what you thought it was in your religion, your mixed-mashed religion, why don't you just come back to Yeshua, God the Father? I'm not talking religion here. I am a proponent of, I don't like religion. I think religion is of man. But God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, that's what I rely on. Not man. Not what man says these verses are. Not what man tells me how to think. I trust in God, not religion.